What is going on, guys? Samuel World from Samuel World Productions here, back with another ranking video for y'all today. As for today's video, I'm now going to give my long overdue update ranking on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think my last ranking was when Eternals No Way Home came out, so it's been a bit since I did an update ranking on the MCU. Now that we got 5 more movies that came out since then. That's my last ranking video. I don't know if it was No Way Home, but either way, it's been a bit since I did a ranking on the MCU, so which is one of my favorite franchises, despite the up and down in quality and the questionable it has been very recently. So I'm going to this one's going to be straight up based on the movies. Once the last episode of Secret Agent comes out in July, I believe, if I remember correctly, that's when the last episode is going to be on this season. I do plan on doing an updated TV show ranking all the Disney Plus shows, the 2 specials so far, and the Netflix shows as well. So stay tuned with them coming soon. But anyways, we got 32 movies to rank here. So let's get started. Always, it's just my personal opinion. Let me know your ranking down below in the comments. So let's get it on. And just motivation, I don't hate any movie on this list. It's might be too much. I don't really hate or dislike any movie on this list. All these films I still really enjoy, honestly. So take this one start by coming in 32 and 31 is Thor Dark World and Iron Man 2. The reason I talk both of them because, well, these are movies that are more considered to be the weakest MCU movies recently, and they kind of still are, and for good reason. And despite them being the bottom, I don't really hate these movies as much as some people seem to do, honestly. Like, they are very flawed movies, like in Thor Dark World being very drab, boring at times, and have the worst villain in the entire MCU. And Iron Man 2 feel like it has just too much cram into it, and it has a very disappointing villain with Whiplash. And doesn't really explore stuff, in terms of don't really explore the stuff that they probably should have, but you do some great moments here, you still get some great performances, and Thor Dark World still has that great Thor-Loki relationship, and Loki's great in everything he's in, honestly. Iron Man 2 still has the great performance of Robert Downey Jr., there's also rumors of Don Cheadle's James Rowe, No Money Theory, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, and still some action, so the movies I'm never in the mood to not rewatch, honestly. They're just likely the ones I'm lucky to watch the least. So I thought that World is my favorite MCU movie, with Iron Man 2 being one spot off, but they're both decent to solid at best. And speaking of MCU movies I watched the least, next year we get to the 2 MCU movies that's by far I have rewatched the least. At number 30 we have Captain Marvel, and number 29 we have The Eternals. Obviously not gonna be the whole video, but yeah, Captain Marvel and Eternals are by far the MCU movies I have watched the least, honestly. They just have a lot better quality, which is probably why they're above both those movies I mentioned, but Captain Marvel takes a solid movie, and I don't think Captain Marvel is as bad as some people make it out to be, like trash, female propaganda stuff that a lot of people think crap me up. It's just kind of a fun movie, fun, generic Phase 1 movie. Like, I feel like it was a movie that probably should have been Phase 1, honestly, at least the look and feel of the movie, at least, and I don't know, next that. I thought Brie Larson was great. Captain Marvel, though I wish you got to see a little more of her character. You still get some solid action sequences, you get some fun moments here and there, so. And every moment Nick Fury I thought was fantastic, aside from that post-credit scene, which is still a very questionable moment, but I think Captain Marvel was just solid fun, honestly. Again, it's not for my have to rewatch very often, but it's still solid fun. At least hope the sequels are much better, honestly, and we get see more of Captain Marvel's personality, which by far we don't really get to see much of it in any of the appearances she's been in. And then the Eternals, which definitely is a film that I enjoy a lot more than, obviously, Captain Marvel. And it's definitely the most divisive MCU movie, and by far the first MCU movie to actually be Rotten Tomatoes, which is kind of interesting. And I do enjoy it, honestly, and it's definitely a film that, it's one of those cases where I think the film probably should have been a TV show than an actual movie. Because we've gotten to see more and more development with these characters, a lot more time to develop the world and the characters. Like, it's one that I'm surprised it's actually just a Disney Plus show, because I mean, consider all the characters and all the years it has to juggle. Like, you as a TV show, like a 13-episode TV show or a 10-episode show would have been much better than what you did here. Because you really get a good chance to balance a lot more of these characters and their relationships and family. But again, some of the characters are still fun though. The performances are great, the visuals are fantastic, and it's easily the best looking MCU movie. I mean, it's directed by Chloe Zhao, who did No Man Land. It's definitely a film I appreciated Maya more than I actually enjoyed the actual product. And it's still enough quality to where it's definitely obviously about the next few movies, but by far I haven't really gone back to this movie that often, honestly. So I still think Thor is definitely a good movie. I obviously don't think it's as bad as something making out to be, but I still wish I enjoyed it more. And again, it would have been much better as a Disney Plus TV series. Now, and number 28, we have Black Widow. And another MCU one that I really have gone back too much often, but I've just come back a bit more, honestly, and I enjoy it every time, honestly. It's basically described as a movie that came out 5 years too late, that it's a Phase 3 2016 movie that came out 5 years too late. That's really Black Widow feels like, honestly. A movie that was in discussion and talks for so long, and unfortunately, unfortunately, you know what happened in Endgame. And overall, I thought it was good, honestly. I thought Scarlett Johansson was great. I thought Florence Pugh stole the show. And I think everyone else, one character here, like Rachel Weisz and Florence Pugh and Dale Harbour, steal the show here. They all had great chemistry and great banter with each other, great moments with each other. You get some fun, solid action. The third act does go a bit CGI heavy, and that's probably what the visuals starting to get also a downgrade in the MCU, and this is one of the worst examples of that. And I like a lot of the favorite aspect it goes for here, a lot of nice messages and stuff that it goes for here. It definitely, it's just a simple, fun action movie that it's kind of generic. It feels like kind of Phase 1 to Phase 3, honestly. And the villain was also probably the most disappointing villain in the entire MCU with Taskmaster. But overall, it was a good movie. I'm definitely excited to see what they do with these characters in Thunderbolts. Now that's 27, get this film I probably should like less as much as I should, but I don't know. Sometimes I've seen this movie so far, I always had a good time, and that's Thor: Love and Thunder. Like, I enjoy it honestly. Like, now I can definitely understand why some people despise this movie. I know a lot of people that despise Love and Thunder. And it's definitely not a perfect movie by any means. Definitely does reach the heights of the Thor Ragnarok, or hell, even the Thor movie. But I don't know, I had a good time honestly. I thought Chris Evans was great. I thought we did Natalie Portman here. You know, James Foster, I like what they did there. You know, the acting is great, the visuals are great as well. There's always some great fun humor to be had here. You get that type of TV humor that I enjoy. And there's a lot more that have me smiling though. Some do go a bit too far, especially the screaming goats bit that even I can admit it's like, yeesh. And I think the story could be a little bit better too. I wish I could see more Golden Gopper show, which I was like, in the top 5 MCU villain was if they should have more screen time. I mean, how do you waste a great actor like Christian Bale? And I definitely didn't like the fact that they tried to go for the typical, kind of pet peeve of trying to make Thor dumber and more of an idiot to basically they're trying to make a guy dumber to boost up a girl's confidence and ego and all that stuff. Like basically make a girl more confident. They have to make a guy dumber, which has always been a big pet peeve of mine. They do that a lot in this movie, and it's really frustrating. So you know how much of Thor as a character. And I think we should explore a little more strategy, but I don't know. I have fun time whenever I come back to this movie. Again, I can definitely understand why some people dislike or even hate this movie. Like, I know a lot of people that despise this movie, but overall, I do enjoy it. Not when I'm probably like Matt out there and it doesn't reach the heights of Ragnarok, but I wouldn't mind it. Now, at number 26, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, the sequel to Ant-Man. This is, again, these Ant-Man movies have been described as more fluff and more just simple movies. And what's that? It's just full of plot cleanser after Infinity War. And that's what these movies made for, to become a plot cleansers after a huge event. And that's basically what Ant-Man Wasp is, just a kind of plot cleanser that. And it's more of a small scale movie, but it's a pretty enjoyable movie that has great moments. The relationship between Ant-Man and Cass, I thought was great here. That Amanda Park was a nice addition here. I don't even like Ghost, honestly. I think Ghost is a pretty underrated villain, and I hope just to be realized more in Thunderbolts. It's definitely it's not gonna blow you away or anything, and there's the ones that didn't really make much sense to really think about it, but as a whole, it's perfectly enjoyable. Now, at 25, we get something that's been kind of like up and down in my MCU ranking, honestly, and how I feel about it, and that is the original Doctor Strange. I felt I was like super high when I saw this. This was actually the first ever screen I went to. But it's kind of gone down a little bit, but you know, that's something I still really enjoy. It's definitely the most uniquely visual looking movie in the MCU. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was great as a character. Like, the guy's always so charismatic and everything is in, and he always loves great performance, and he does so here. Honestly, I thought the whole magic world building, I thought was fantastic here. And I thought the action scenes was great. I thought I had probably one of the most unique final battles in any Marvel movie. Like, no more! I come to bargain! Like, I love that battle so much. Fortunately, I think the villain's kind of lackluster. I thought they kind of rushed some elements of this, of the origin story aspect, but as a whole, it's a perfectly good and enjoyable movie that kind of basically just doesn't really do anything to differ itself from the MCU formula or anything like that, but to know its own merits, it's perfectly good and does a good job setting up this magic stuff in the MCU. Now, at number 24, we have the Incredible Hulk. Basically described as being the black sheep of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For a while, one of the only MCU movies that didn't really have much connection or continuation, honestly. So it looks like that's going to be changed in later movies and later installments, but I've always enjoyed The Incredible Hulk, honestly. Again, I've always enjoyed this movie, and despite its little placement, I've always enjoyed this movie. It's definitely an underrated ass movie to the MCU. I like Illinois as a character. I love Ty was one of the better love interests here. Abomination was a real nice antagonist, and the whole fight between him and Hulk is definitely one of the best final battles in the MCU in general. One of the best action scenes in the MCU in general. It's not me I don't go back to much on the and I would say they have a little bit more on the Hulk psyche, but as a whole, it's a bit of a good movie that I think it gets a bit too much hate, honestly, and I feel like I don't really might ever come back to. Now, at number 23, we have one of the most recent entries, and that is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is number 23. MCU viewing that I kind of don't really get the hate for, honestly. Like, yeah, it's not MCU, that's pretty much all the Rotten Aaron mails, but in a way, that's kind of a perfectly understandable reasons, considering that people think it's more from studio fatigue. I think that's more the fact that people just don't want to see the same film over again. That's kind of what I mean. I will say the film was a bit disappointing because it wasn't like the game changer that they were claiming it was. But it's a perfectly good Ant-Man movie. It's a perfectly good Ant-Man movie that has a bigger scale to it. I would say the tones kind of do clash a bit at times, honestly. And we would call Ant-Man and Wasp. Wasp really isn't getting much to do in this movie, which is kind of disappointing. But yeah, it's a perfectly good movie. It has some great moments. The visuals are great. Some can be kind of questionable, some are great. I don't even mind the recast of casting with Captain Newton. The way he did it was also questionable, but I think Captain Newton fit the role pretty well, honestly. Now, Paul Rudd was great, as he always is. Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer. And they do a great job introducing Kang the Conqueror as a great menacing presence. So while it's not the game changer that I was expecting, overall, pretty good movie. Now, at number 22, we get to another pretty underrated entry in the MCU, in my opinion, and that's the original Thor. And I've always loved this movie when I first saw it, and I still do enjoy it. I still do have a good time with the original Thor. Thor, honestly, I've always enjoyed it, honestly. It's definitely a film that feels like it's kind of in the writing stages of the Phase 1 MCU, but I still do enjoy it. Again, maybe the other stuff's not as interesting, and Kat Dennings' character, Darcy, is not the most interesting fact. I still think she's probably the worst MCU character, and she's also one of the reasons why I really thought Dark was also kind of like, my least favorite, but all in all, I thought Chris Hemsworth was great as a character. The first time we get Loki was great. The action when they do get was great. I like the fish out of water stuff that we get here, honestly. The back and forth between all the characters here are great as well. And I didn't mind the chemistry between James Foster. I thought it's one that got to his peak in Love Thunder, in my opinion. I didn't really hate the relationship or thought it was bad like some people do, honestly. But overall, Thor was a perfectly good movie that really said a lot of interesting stuff. But the visual aspect was great, and also the Hawkeye was great as Odin. Again, before we get to see it, but the first appearance of Loki, who was definitely still one of the best MCU villains. Yeah, so while does have some basic issues, and also Kat Dennings killed a goat himself, but otherwise, a perfectly good movie. Now, at number 21, we have Ant-Man. Ant-Man, Ant-Man, Ant-Man. Again, a perfectly serviceable, a perfectly good movie that basically is a palate cleanser for the MCU. It was nice to end at Phase 2. Again, the film doesn't have a lot of production issues because originally Edgar Wright was going to direct it and has a whole other can of worms, but you definitely get a lot of the Edgar Wright style here, honestly, and it definitely makes the movie more unique than just being like a generic heist movie. I mean, heist in the MCU is definitely pretty interesting, and I've always loved Ant-Man. I always loved coming back to this movie, and I definitely still do enjoy it. Again, Paul Rudd is charismatic he's always been. I like the relationship that he has with his daughter. The Avenger Lee was great. Michael Douglas was great. And the film just put a big grinning smile on my face whenever I come back to it. Especially only been 21. I always come back to me very often. I always have a great time whenever I do. Sure, the villain's kind of generic and does have some stuff doesn't make any sense having the third act, but as a whole, Ant-Man's still a great movie. Now, kicking off the top 20, we have Avengers: Age of Ultron. Yes. It's the first Avenger movie, but personally the weakest of the Avengers movies, but I've always enjoyed Age of Ultron. I think it's definitely got a bit too overhated, honestly, especially given a lot of the production stuff that I went through. But I've always enjoyed Age of Ultron, honestly. I've always enjoyed this movie. While it's definitely the weakest of the Avengers movies that we've gotten, I still have a great time here. They try to go for more of a bigger, grander scale. They go through some weird issue directions to go there. Some more dumb, but yeah, you did some fantastic action here. Like some of the best action in the MCU, especially the Hulkbuster scene. That's still one of the best action set pieces in the entire MCU. Without question. Go sleep. But something I watched me just to get to that scene. It's how good it is. But even then, the final battle's still great. I know for the intro of Scarlet Witch, that was great. Even Quicksilver, that was a nice addition as well. Ultron definitely could have been a little bit better than Villain, because I think Ultron was kind of a bit too jokey, but I don't think he's that bad a villain. I just thought they went a bit too jokey at times. And I had a hard time balancing certain things, honestly, but and that was a man that Widow Hulk romance, but as a whole, I thought Ultron's a great movie. I thought how they also tried to humanize some of the Avengers, especially find the Hawk as a family, which is kind of what I hate for some reason. But as a whole, I think Ultron's a great movie. Definitely one of the more underrated entries in the MCU. Now, coming in at number 19 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. A movie that I don't think reaches what goes for in the title, and the game-changing movie that said was going to change the MCU didn't end up being all that game-changing. But yeah, I still had a great time with Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, it's crazy that when this movie coming out, people more care about what were the cameos going to be in this movie than the actual movie itself. I mean, you got freaking Sam Raimi directing an MCU movie, and you really feel that Evil Dead Sam Raimi that you expect, honestly. Like, you get a lot of really terrifying sequences here, a lot of great horror. Like, it felt like what happened in MCU made a horror movie, and that's basically what this movie is. Basically an MCU horror movie, and it delivers on that front. I know with the Doctor Strange, that was great. I mean, Rich Adams' character's definitely a lot more better here, honestly. The cameras to do, yeah, that was great. The visuals are fantastic as always with the first movie. I honestly adore the Scarlet Witch. Another thing that I don't really understand the hate about, honestly, but making the same people didn't like the Scarlet Witch as a villain. They really butchered her character, which I never really got that. I thought it didn't kind of make sense for her character, and she definitely, in my opinion, one of the best villains in the MCU, and Elizabeth Olsen easily gets her best performance as his character here. So many terrifying sequences. Hell, I didn't even mind Mary Chavez here, honestly. I didn't even mind her as a character. And now that they go for the actual multiverse of madness that you expect, not as like insane as you expect, but a little more generic than you would expect, honestly. And the pacing can be a bit weird at times, but as a whole, I still thought it was a great movie. And now we get to the MCU meant to be the most underrated, and that is Captain America: The First Avenger. I mean, yeah, I've always loved this movie, honestly, and I still do love it. I'm like, even when Captain America was kind of taken as more of a jokey character, or more of a joke in general, I don't know, I did to introduce him to the MCU. That was a great addition. Chris Evans in his first appearance as a character was fantastic. His relationships with the characters, and he and Peggy is easily wrapped up the best romance in the MCU. One of the best stupid romances in general. Especially how it develops throughout later movies. It's really emotional and compelling. Honestly, the action is great. And basically, it's like a 80s, 90s action movie set in the MCU. And do a good job of having that be in that same time period. Rose Gold is probably the only major disappointment here. I wish he was definitely getting a lot more to do here, but who wins best efforts. But as a whole, still a great movie that I always have a great time whenever I come back to, which is definitely often. Now, at number 17, we have Black Panther. What people expect basically the most mature movie in the MCU, hell, because of the messaging and everything, it freaking got nominated for Best Picture. And I think Black Panther is still a great movie in my opinion. I think the only thing that do hold this movie a little bit back from being much higher is really the fact that the CGI in the third act is pretty wonky at times, and that's really it. The CGI in the third act is pretty wonky, and it does take you out after the final battle. But as a whole, I think Black Panther is a fantastic movie. Again, Chad Boseman's great, the other actors they introduced here are fantastic and well developed, and the supporting cast is great. I think the action still get upgrades by the final battle. And the world building of Wakanda itself is fantastic. And Killmonger, he's easily one of the best villains in the MCU, honestly, one of the most compelling, most thoughtful villains that we have ever gotten, and played excellently by Michael B. Jordan. Honestly, again, both that CGI has been probably one much higher, but as a whole, Black Panther is still, in my opinion, a great movie. Now, at number 16 and number 15, we have both of the MCU Spider-Man movies, with 16 being Homecoming and 15 being Far From Home. Now, if we're starting to debate whether or not Homecoming, which film was better, honestly, but I think Far From Home ended up Homecoming just by a little tad. But I think both movies are great, and considering what happens after No Way Home, I think they honestly make the movies in the event to happen so much more better, in my opinion. I've always loved these movies, honestly. Again, Homecoming, basically a John Hughes movie set in the MCU. It does also have the flashiest action in the world. I thought what Tom Holland was great, and Tony Stark was great, and Vulture was an incredible villain, excellent by Michael Keaton. He's some genuine fun, hilarious moments. The supporting cast I thought was great, especially with Ned here, who I never got the hate for Ned also. Ned's probably one of the funniest characters in the MCU, and he definitely delivers here. Someone loves even more in Far From Home. And I definitely like the chemistry between Tom Holland and Zendaya, who probably aren't not dating in real life, if I remember correctly, but they both deliver great chemistry. They have great back and forth with each other, and is a really fun, compelling character. And you two get general fun and great moments here. And Mysterio also being a great villain, and host that post-credit scene, in which again, knowing the events that happens after that in No Way Home makes these films so much more better. And I've always lived these movies to the end, but it makes some of the events that happen make you go, oh. So yeah, I fucking love these Spider-Man movies. Again, definitely the best. Tom Holland's great as the character, in my opinion. I definitely go debate where he and Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man, but still, I think in these movies, Tom Holland definitely delivers. And all around, I just love both these movies. Now, at number 14, we get to the film that honestly has gone the biggest jump on this ranking, and that is Iron Man 3. The MCU movie, I think, has gone on the biggest jump on this ranking. I think I originally had it around the 20s, but yeah, Iron Man 3 is one of those films where I think the more I watch it, the more I think about it, the more I appreciate it. The more it has gone up on this ranking as the most unique film in the MCU. Yeah, if I was to Shang-Chi to it wasn't also another film that wasn't kind of referenced. Again, it's a freaking Shane Black movie as well, and Chip Snow for having this great witty writing while having like very emotional stuff to it, and basically how you see like Tony Stark go through in this movie is fantastic with his PTSD and from the Avengers and him just having anxiety. Like, it's very relatable stuff, and Marvel Jr. delivers character as always. Again, not the flashiest action in the world, but when it's there, it's still great. I don't even mind the man twist that much anymore. It's not like a huge issue. That's been one of the few things that's kind of always mixed towards me, but everyone should appreciate it, especially after the next movie we're talking about. Hell, I don't even mind the freaking villain, honestly. I actually don't even mind the villain, if I'm being honest. So it's a very human and emotional story, and I especially like Tony's relationship with the kid in this movie. It's fortunately didn't get to Endgame, but all around, Iron Man 3 is definitely a very unique movie, and it's freaking Shane Black. Other than the Predator, he's probably gonna do no wrong, I would say that, but as a whole, Iron Man 3 is definitely the most unique movie in the MCU with very emotional moments, great action, Fun performances, great acting from everyone aboard, some gorgeous cinematography, and some really nice surprises. And now, and number 13, we get to a film that basically actually did reference Iron Man 3 and brought back to relevance, and that is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Another film I've always loved when I first saw it in the theater with my coworker Colin, and I still do love it here. I still do love Shang-Chi. It's definitely one of the most fun movies in the MCU. I smiled ears to hear from this movie. Shang-Chi, I thought was the appealing character. I thought the message it tells about family was interesting. The Panther himself went weird here. In my opinion, a top tier MCU villain, like true top tier, honestly, like top 5, not top 3, honestly. When you actually hear about his backstory and what he went through and the life still go through with his wife, like it's compelling stuff. Obviously, don't agree with it, but it's compelling stuff. Not to mention the martial arts and finding out the best action that we've got in the MCU as well. I think about the final battle. I think about Awkwafina's nice humor, just in moments here. I mean, it's nice that they didn't actually, sort of romance here, which, thank God, I hope they don't do that sequel. And generally, it has that kind of MCU that you expect, but this is definitely one of the more funnier movies in the MCU. I know, but this is just a great movie. I always have a great time whenever I come back to it. The action's great, the visuals are great. I didn't even mind the final battle here, and the world building is also fantastic as well. And again, overall, I cannot wait to see what they do with the sequel, and also can't wait to see what this director does in the King Dynasty. Spoiler: the director of this movie is actually going to direct the King Dynasty, so we'll see how that goes. And speaking of humorous and funny, number 12 we have Thor Ragnarok, which in my opinion is definitely one of the funniest movies in the MCU. And again, in my opinion, is this the best Thor movie and definitely the best Taika Waititi movie that we've gotten so far. The time we expect it's a great shit, honestly, but I've always loved Thor Ragnarok. It's a movie that I think has gotten better upon rewatch. And it's definitely one of the funniest movies in the MCU. Moments that made me laugh and just tore my ass off every time I watch it. It's also excellent action, especially that Thor Hulk sequence. I think Hell is a pretty underrated villain with excellent Kate Blanchett. I love the Doctor Strange suit that we get here. Thor was realized greatly here. It's what they finally figured out his freaking character. The visual effects are fantastic. XR never looked greater and better. Well, this movie that I always just put on and have a great time whenever I come back to it. Even all the new characters he had here, especially Carl Urban's character, was fantastic. Just all around a hilarious ride from beginning to end. Now, unfortunately, missing it on the top 10, we have the original Iron Man. It's crazy that it's now been 15 years since this movie came out. 15 years since the original Iron Man came onto the screen and then changed the superhero landscape as we know it. So obviously we only had great super movies before this, and we were starting the MCU movies before this. This movie that pretty much was a game changer, especially with that post-credit scene with Nick Fury, but even while taking that account, this is still a pretty great movie exploring the journey of Iron Man played excellently by Rob Downey Jr. And this was a movie that basically brought her back into the actor landscape after kind of a decline recently. I think it was to alcoholism, if I remember correctly. And even from his first movie, he delivers a great performance, has an incredible character arc throughout the movie. And the supporting cast was great as well. The action with Duke here is great. Jeff Bridges, I think, is a pretty underrated villain as Ironmonger. Again, seeing what Tony goes through throughout this movie is really compelling and interesting. Definitely one of the best character arcs in any film, period. Again, the action is still great here. The music is great. The cinematography is great. But Jon Favreau does a fantastic job with directing here. Again, one thing to say about it, again, this film that pretty much started the MCU, and 15 years later, it's still one of the best. And now, kicking off the top 10, we have the Avengers. And it's also because it's not been 11 years since the Avengers came out. Something I was pretty much a huge fan. A lot of people couldn't believe it was actually coming out after that post-credit scene hint in Iron Man. And here's the of course, there have been more bigger, higher threats in later MCU movies. The Avengers still hits like so much. Again, it's definitely a film that has a lot of great humor, a lot of great banter from the Avengers, and they all work very well off each other, whether on the human side, even on the heartfelt side as well. Loki is still a great antagonist here. The action is still some of the best in the MCU, especially the kind of one-take sequence that you do get. But see, each Avenger gets a really good time to shine here. as well. And that score is just perfect. That's one of the best film scores ever, in my opinion. Just, it's crazy the fact that 11 years later, still holds it very well. Now at number 9, I'm not sure where people read this film should be in the top 10, but I'll put it anyway. At number 9, we have Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I'm not sure whether people agree with Black Panther Wakanda Forever being in the top 10, but again, I was wild by the movie from Star, and then the few times I've watched it, it has gotten a lot better. Honestly, again, I mean, joke, the fact that this movie ended up being as good as it was, it's surprising. Not that I was that excited for this movie, obviously, but it was down by hand with with COVID and the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace, my man. You're still missed. You're still deeply missed, my friend. But did a great job with implementing that into the story, and a fantastic job with continuing on with the legacy of Black Panther. And despite film being 2.5 hours long, it doesn't feel like that at all. Sure, it goes for a fantastic character arc here. The supporting cast is great as always. Again, Eric Bastard delivering one hell of a performance. I think she should have won Best Supporting Actress, in my opinion. We had some really nice surprises, some pretty emotional stuff that I did not see coming. I think Nemo is also a fantastic villain as well, very well utilized in this movie. I think kind of wasted what they do with his character in later movies. Again, it's a pretty emotional movie that from the opening scene alone had me crying. And I could be kept in Boseman, obviously, but still, I was sobbing. And then was wow, it's definitely one of the most emotional movies in the MCU. The reason why it's ain't higher, honestly, is because other films are better. But overall, I think Black Panther Wakanda was very deserving of being here at number 9. Honestly, probably could end up being like 1 spots higher the more times we watch it, but as right now, I think 9's a good spot. Now at number 8, we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Oh my god, I fucking love this Winter Soldier. Again, basically, almost 9 years since this film came out. A film that was considered to be the game changer in the MCU. And for good reason. It was a film that people took Captain America seriously. It's a film that made him a popular character that he is, and people still be wanting to hear Iron Man is the best MCU character. And definitely I see why. I mean, Chris Evans gives one of the best performances here. Or did Bucky was fantastic. Well, it wasn't surprised he was Winter Soldier. I know how the anime here was pretty great as well. I like Cat's back and forth Black Widow throughout the movie. I like nice surprises here, the more dark tone here. That feels to be like more of a spy espionage than an actual superhero movie. I mean, those are the best superhero movies that really don't actually feel like superhero movies, and truthfully, you probably say that from all the other movies on this list, honestly, where it's some movies that don't even feel like actual superhero movies. They feel like actual genre movies. They finish. So, as a whole, Winter Soldier, fantastic. Fantastic action, great score, great character work. It's just a film I always adore coming back to. And I'm just away. My number 7, number 6, number 5 are all 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Like, I fucking love these movies. I fucking love all 3 of these movies. Like, and in the last minute I decided to actually put them at number 7, number 6, number 5. And right now that makes sense, honestly. And as I could honestly go a bit higher the more I think about it, but I think there's more fans right now, honestly. So which ones are they actually? Well, my number 7 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 6 is the original Guardians of the Galaxy. And number 5 is the most recent Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I haven't finally watched the movie. I think it's not been my favorite of this, but all these films are masterpieces, in my opinion. And I've always loved Volume 2, but it's crazy to think that when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, it was something that really surprised a lot of people of how good it actually was, because Guardians of the Galaxy, wait, who are these people? And then the film ended up being a rousing success. And then they did a great job with the sequel, and now, based on basically ended characters with Volume 3. And again, I love all these movies, honestly. All these movies are fantastic. They have some of the best MCU moments. By the same time, I will be doing a top 10 best moments of all these 3 movies coming very soon. But all these movies are fantastic with great moments, some of the most fun and entertaining characters with incredible emotional. Again, These were based on what I love most about James Gunn. Like, James Gunn is one of those directors that definitely doesn't tell stories in the traditional way. Like, he's like, usually get some of these stories, they probably would go the easy way. He never goes the easy way. He tells you, while having like zany, crazy humor, tells it the true emotions of these characters, like what they really go through, what they actually are feeling. That's what I always love about these Guardians movies. Again, I always love Volume 2. It's a film that I think after Volume 3 and after very recently, it has shot up in my ranking. It has shot up in my best films this year, honestly. Like, it's really shot up. And like, I think after all the events of Volume 3, I think some of the flaws I did have Volume 2 are pretty much now gone. But in Volume 2 definitely has some great emotional moments with Ego being an underrated villain. The original Guardians definitely is the first story where having a lot of great characters, a lot of great character moments, a lot of fantastic action with great humor. And Volume 3 is the perfect cap off to this trilogy by having satisfying arcs, and whether we do see some of these characters, like whether we do see these characters return or not, this is still a perfect cap off to a lot of these characters. Like, I know we're not planning to see Drax or Gamora in the movies. Like, this one's still up in the air, but it's just last time we are going to see like Star-Lord, Rocket, and the other characters. It's a perfect cap off. And yeah, not very recently, so it's something that probably easily could shut up and the more I watch it. But right now, I think having a number 5 is probably the perfect spot for it. But I love Volume 3. I love all 3 of these movies, honestly. Just perfect movies. And truly, I cannot wait to see what, after seeing Volume 3, cannot wait to see what James Gunn does with this new DC universe. Like, I was definitely curious about it, but I think after Volume 3 is like, oh, we are going to get some good shit, especially with the Superman one. Just. And now we get to the actual top 4. And this is probably the same top 4 as my last ranking, honestly, so I'm not going to talk about too much of these movies, but at number 4 we have Captain America Civil War, which I think is a fantastic film. That's, in my opinion, still one of the best MCU movies, with Whispers delivering such great emotion. People are still debating whether or not the team kind of Team Iron Man. He has one of the best performances with Rob Downey Jr., Chris Evans, how they implement Black Panther, Spider-Man, fantastic, and the airport battle is just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Number 3 is Avengers Infinity War, a great, huge event. With crazy, it's now been 5 years since Infinity War is released, and I still do adore Infinity War. I'm not sure what some of the deaths that happened here. It'd be like Thanos' story in his movie, and he basically is now the best villain in the MCU after this movie, and for good reason. Like it's basically it's Thanos the movie, but it really works. Again, the emotions, the action, the set pieces, the character moments, all fantastic. And the ending still really works. Number 2 is Spider-Man No Way Home. And I felt like probably is the most surprising film of the MCU, and I felt like I was not expecting to enjoy much as I did. I decided to be in the top 2, but the film magic has gotten better the more I watch it. With his emotional story, Tom Holland's best performance as a character, and all this, of course, you could say that it's just like a nostalgia film movie. I think the way they use nostalgia and the way they use fan service here, I think it's implemented so greatly here that it really benefits the story, it really benefits the characters. Like, I know nostalgia fans has been an issue in a lot of movies recently, but it's one of these we'll want it if it's done very well. It can lead to some pretty emotional stuff, and No Way Home is one of those examples, especially with how it ends and a lot of the surprises that happen in this movie. Just have kiss. But still, number 1 is still Avengers Endgame. And like I always said, the biggest problem I have with Endgame is that out of the game film top. I actually am clearly working on the video was explaining why Endgame is not my favorite MCU movie, but my favorite superhero comic movie of all time. I am dead serious. It is definitely my favorite superhero comic movie of all time, and I'm going to work on a video eventually where I'm going to explain why that is Endgame for me. So stay tuned for that coming, hopefully in a couple coming weeks. But yeah, Endgame is still not one favorite MCU movie. Lucky, will probably always will be. Despite how much more bigger they're gonna get with Secret Wars and King Dynasty. Whew! Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my ranking of every MCU movie. Definitely let me know down below in the comment section what are your thoughts on this ranking, and let me know what are your ranking. How would you rank every MCU movie? And again, once the last episode of Secret comes out, you're playing through one on the TV shows as well, with the Disney Plus ones, the specials, and the Netflix shows as well. And probably we're also going to get like Loki season 2, or also later this year, and also Echo as well. So I don't know if I think I might do after. I'm still going to do that after Secret Invasion, honestly. So stay for that. Let's look forward to playing through a top 10 list on my favorite moments for Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, and plus from the other trilogies in general. I do have some MCU content I do plan on throwing down the roads, which I'm very excited about. So stay tuned for those coming away very soon. Let me know what other MCU content you want me to see down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am Sam World from Sam Productions. I will see you next time as always. Stay cool, everybody. Peace.